Okay, I had to get the chat going here. I have to use my phone uh, as a chat window because the small pop-up window that appears on PS5 whenever somebody makes a comment. If they make a rather lengthy comment, it doesn't show the entire comment, so I have to keep my phone right here by my side so I can see the entire comment. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay, and we're back with another stream of Assetto Corsa Competizione on PS5. I have been practicing today. I took the day off of work, actually. My debit card got hacked, and somebody bought an Amazon Prime membership with it. So I had to go to my credit union and have my debit card shredded and issued a new one and fill out a dispute claim so I can have those charges reversed. And so because I had today off, I decided to take advantage and try to get some practice in on PC. The stream that I did yesterday on PS5, I think I had a couple of decent races, but one thing still remains is that I can't be as fast or as aggressive as I want to be because I don't have the detailed feedback as far as brake locking and wheel slippage that I talked about before. But I went over to PC and I actually set a few personal best records today. Matter of fact, I want to check something out. And you'll notice that there's no music, no background music, because yesterday's stream got hit with a copyright for the second time. This is the second time that I've streamed Assetto Corsa Competizione from the PS5 and got hit with a copyright claim by some entity or person named Hawks, and they are making a copyright claim on behalf of a third party. So I don't know if this is somebody that was appointed by Kunos or 505 or whatever the case may be. So I turned off the background music to make sure I don't get hit with another claim. So coming back to me practicing on PC, I've been practicing on PC all day today, and I've turned in some personal best records, personal best laps. And right there, Nürburgring, if you look at, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the real life record for this track is a minute 56 seconds, a minute 56.3. Today, I set a personal best of 157.6. That is not bad at all. So, when it comes to ACC, I mean, like the Jardiers, there's a lot of other people. UKOG, I'm sorry. He's on Twitch. James Baldwin, who is arguably one of the fastest sim racers in the world, and he does. In fact, I think he's getting ready to compete in the 24 Hours of Spa. These guys turn in laps that are faster than the real life records. Me, I try to target the real life records, and a lot of these tracks, I'm like anywhere from 3 to 6 seconds off the real life record. This right here, this track is the closest that I've ever come to the real life record. So as you can see, the real life record is a minute 56.3. I turned in a minute 57.6 on PC. So this is the track that would give me my best chance to win when I compete in the open lobbies, because I definitely finish in the top 10 on this track. But yeah, I've been going back to the lab, and I've been getting a little bit faster. This track right here, as you can see, the real life record is 147.8. My fastest lap on here is 149.6. That's about 1.8 seconds off the real life record, which isn't bad, but I can't. I've only done 149 an official lap once. Every other time that I've done under 150, it was a track violation where I cut across the track or something. But I can turn in. I do turn in consistent 150s on PC. And yesterday is not showing it here. It's showing my best lap is 152.3. But I looked at yesterday's stream. I actually turned in a 154. So that's actually not far off of my, my personal best from PC. So the aim here on the PS5 is, despite the handicap that I have on PS5, is to get as close as I can to my lap times on PC. So anyway, and this has been rather lengthy. The PC servers are down. I went in to try to get some practice, and most of you who follow my channel know that I race in VR, and the PC servers are down. And so I checked to see if the console servers are up, and yes, they are. There's only like 3 lobbies. Oh, 2 now. Up here's a Snetterton, and here's a Zolder. But God, that ping is only 250. But let's give it a shot.
Green light, give it all you can.
Only 20-something seconds of qualifying left, and oh my God, this is a night race. Boy, this is gonna be. All right. And I looked in the rear view mirror and I saw the car bottom out. I saw the sparks in the rear view mirror. That's one of the things I love about the details of this game. Let's go back to garage and let's get my settings together. The session ended, but don't tell me the game froze on me. Whew. Fuel. This is only a 10-minute race. So 40 should be more than enough. And then options 660. Let's take the gain up to about 70. And then the force feedback here, take it to 73. I don't know if I need to put on my gloves for this race. I will say that whenever I want to see this game in 4K HDR, I do look at it on the PS5. I can easily do it on PC, but I get tired of going back and forth with the resolution because when I race in VR on PC, I turn the resolution down to 1080p because it'll take some of the stress off of the PC. And I don't want to go back and forth. Like if I want to play it flat screen on PC, I don't want to go back and forth changing the resolution to 4K and stuff like that whenever I want to play flat screen. So honestly, even though I'm a little bit handicapped on the PS5, whenever I want to see the game in 4K, that's where I play it at on PS5.
Green light, show them where you go.
Did I get hit with a drive-through? I'll get back on the track here. I'm still trying to figure out if I got hit with a drive-through. Oh, we're starting with dry tires again. We're starting with cold tires again. No wonder people are flying off the tracks.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out. Car on the left, clear on the left. Slow car ahead.
I don't know if that idiot was trying to take me out or not.
Car on the left, clear on the left.
If you notice, yeah, I'm starting with cold tires. I think that's what part of the update was. And these cars are flying all over the flying off the tracks all over the place. Jay Wags, what is up, my guy? Yeah, I'm doing a late night stream tonight. The PC servers are down, so I'm over here on the PS5. I see this RoboCop game trailer. Oh, shit. Well, if it comes to PC and it's a single-player game, I might fuck with it because somebody's probably going to mod it. You know, somebody will probably mod it for VR. Looks fire, alright. Might have to check it out. Yo, can you use that racing setup? 1 second here, because your whole comment didn't come through, so give me a second. That's what I was saying. I keep my phone next to me so I can peek over and check the comments because the PS5 window doesn't display the entire comment. So give me a second. Oh, can I use that racing setup at GT5? No, I don't think you can, but even if you could, you would only be restricted to using it for drag races or whatever racing related games they would have on there. But I think thanks to the PC modders, though, I think you can use your full hands for everything. For the ones that did it right. because I think two of the biggest PC modders out there for VR is Luke Ross and Praydog. And Luke Ross, whenever he does a mod, it's in VR, but a lot of times you still use like an Xbox controller. Whereas Praydog, his mods, you still have full use of your hands. Yeah, half these dudes dropped out, so I'm probably about to win my first race on PS5 by default. I will say that with this force feedback, I do feel some details in the road, but the big thing is I still don't feel when the brakes lock up, and I still don't feel wheel slippage. And because of that, I just cannot be as aggressive as I want to be. And therefore, I'm way slower on this track on PS5 than I am on PC. Like, as you can see, oh shit. If you look at the lap times up there in the upper left-hand corner, it shows me on pace to set a pace of 138. I turn in my buddy really into racing. F1, I think, yeah, F1 22 just came out a few days ago, and EA really dropped the ball with that.
Fastest lap of the race. Great job, man.
Oh shit. Because the VR is utter dog shit. It's unplayable. And I think EA has rolled out several patches, or Codemasters or whoever, they've rolled out several patches trying to adjust the VR, but the VR was so bad that I got a refund for the game. I pre-ordered the game and I got, you know, two PCs, one with a 3080 Ti and the other one with a 3070 Ti, and the game was unplayable on both of it. He does a triple monitor thing. Oh shit. I mean, the triple monitor thing is cool, but I prefer VR. But I think either one of them gets the job done. It allows you, like with a triple monitor, his setup ain't nowhere near us though. Oh, you said his setup ain't nowhere near mine. Okay, I got you. See, but with a triple monitor though, to me, you still have enough field of view. You still have 100 degrees, 180 degrees field of view. Whereas, you know, with VR, you got 360 degrees. But in VR, you know, what are the chances that I'm going to turn all the way around and look to see what's behind me? So, you know, triple monitors get the job done too. I just prefer VR because it's more immersive. It feels like you actually sitting inside the car. God damn it. The car bottomed out too. I seen the sparks in the rear view. I don't think I ever finished saying that this particular track on PC, I turn in lap times of 131. And here I am turning in, you know, 138. Yeah, I was really up until GT4 until this race will be over here in a second here, Jay. So just give me a second here. I got about 30 seconds and this race will be over. work? Well, you work third shift?
Excellent job, mate. B1. What a race. Well done. Well managed. Bring it back home.
Okay. Hey, I'll take that. I got to win by default, but see, I ain't trying to talk that shit, but the PC racers are way faster than console racers. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a few people on PC who are fast enough to there's a few people on console that are fast enough to compete on PC, but for the most part, the PC people as a whole are a lot faster than the console. See if this guy gonna rear end me or not. Nope. Not only that, some of these console racers are dirty on this game. In any case, so you see right there, I turned into 137.7. My fastest lap on PC. Like I turn in, because I've been turning in consistent turns a week of daylight, afternoon, then midnight, different days off of the week. Shit schedule. Okay, so let me grab my glasses here so I can see your full comments, so I can check my phone now. Yeah, I was really into it up until GT4, then I stopped playing racers. Okay, so I'm not into that arcade bullshit. Need for Speed and the Crew, Midnight Crew, all that bullshit. I'm not into that. I'm into I've never been in a race car before, but I'd like to think that this might be the closest thing to it. So I think I can go ahead and back out of here now that I got a win by default. You didn't fuck with the original driver? Nope. So, as much as I've been racing for years, man. I mean, like I go back to all the way back to like the Sega Saturn when I was playing Daytona. I think it was Daytona USA. I was playing Ridge Racer on the original PlayStation. I mean, I go that far back. I even go back before that, because I'm 55 years old. And on the Atari 2600, there was actually a racing game made by Activision called Enduro, because Activision has been around forever. I mean, I think Activision has been around since the, because I think the Atari 2600, I want to say launched in 1979. So I think Activision has been around since 1980, because on the Atari 2600, Activision's the game that put them on the map was Pitfall, which at that time, I mean, I played that game for hours and hours and hours, because that game was the closest thing you would ever get to playing like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, an Indiana Jones type of game. But yeah, they had a racing game called Enduro, which I played for hours and hours and hours. I played Drive Club on PSVR and had a good time. Drive Club in VR, I mean, saying stuff like that, you mean that game right there, man, you mentioned that game in VR, and it just like freezes me for a second, because that was my first experience as far as a racing game in VR. When I bought PSVR day one. It launched October of 2016, because I was going to Best Buy. Me and my son would go to Best Buy every week, and we would play it every week because they had demos set up at Best Buy and GameStop. And so I bought it day one, but I didn't give it to my son until Christmas. And I remember on Christmas, man, me and my son was playing everything that we had to us. And there was a demo disc for PSVR. I got it a few months after. Okay, so you a VR veteran. So there was a demo disc that came with PSVR, and it had clips of several games, including Drive Club and Resident Evil 7. And so I played that Drive Club demo, and it blew me away. I had never, I think, experienced something like that, because it was the first time the demo disc is where I played it. Okay. Is the first time I ever sat in a car doing 200 miles an hour. And I remember thinking like the shit was mind blowing, but it was scary at the same time, because I was playing with the radio and shit like that. Damn. You know what was up? You know what else was really crazy about Drive Club in VR? Is that when you do a replay of the race, you can sit on the passenger side and look over at the driver, and the shit looks so real. The way he looked like he was concentrating on driving, you waiting for him to look at you and say something to you. The shit was that crazy. First VR experience ever on PSVR Worlds, and I was like, damn, this shit is the truth. That, it was mind blowing, but it opened up an even bigger can of worms, because all I could do was think about, damn, what if we could get, like a Call of Duty in VR? What if we could get Madden in VR? And that kind of started me down my crusade of turning my channel into a VR channel and promoting VR, because I got some VR friends, YouTubers, that are big YouTubers now, like Gamertag. I think he's got over 30,000 subs. He's one of my friends. Paradise Decay, I think he might have hit 15,000. My friend Steve Knows, I think he's probably got about 35,000 subs. I think I put in so many possibilities, bro. I didn't know UGO ain't in VR yet. Oh, so you don't know how UGO ain't in VR yet. I'm not familiar with that game, to tell you the truth. But those guys that I mentioned, those are my VR friends. Those are my YouTube friends. And I put in my opinion, I put in just as much work as they did, and I don't have the success that they did. Not that I was looking for it, but it's just me trying to say that that I did my part to help bring VR to the forefront. I put in the work. You said that's a generation gap? But yeah, I went off the tracks. You're my VR guy for sure. I appreciate that, J-Wags. I really do. Oh, Barcelona. Oh, damn, but that ping. Hell, why not? We'll go ahead and chance it.
Green light, go, go, go.
Resident Evil Village in VR is going to be crazy. I already played it. Already played it in VR. It's ironic that you say. It's ironic that you bring that up, J Wags, because Luke Ross, he's a guy that mods AAA games in VR. He's modded Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Elden Ring. I think a couple of the Resident Evil game, he's done VR mods for them, to name a few. And I guess Rockstar is starting to do DMCA takedowns now for people who mod their games. And what's fucked up about it is they used him. I found it to be a coincidence that when Luke Ross first came out with that GTA mod in VR, the game coincidentally went on sale on Steam for $15. 6 months later, Luke Ross comes out with an update that addressed some of the bugs in the VR mod. And ironically, the game went on sale again on Steam right around the time that he put out that mod update. So Rockstar is well aware of the VR community modding AAA games, and they cashed in on it. Now all of a sudden they want to start doing, DMCA takedowns and shit. I think that's some bullshit. They used him to sell their game, and now they want to take him down. I mean, that's some vile shit. But I think the reason why they're doing it is because I think that's the proof in the pudding that they need to pay them dues. King Thrash, my boy Thrash, he give the modding community some heat because he said they do free work, because he feels like developers like Bethesda, they'll deliberately put out a broken game and let the modders fix it. Damn, 153 on this track? That's slow. That's the fastest lap, 153.7. I turn in 146s. Bethesda depends on them, absolutely. So, I was going off the track skin. What I was trying to say is the fact that Rockstar is doing DMCA takedowns for people modding their shit, I think that's the proof in the pudding that Grand Theft Auto 5 and possibly Red Dead Redemption 2 will be coming to PSVR 2. And with the VR community out there modding games, it puts people in a position like me, like I've been telling people for the past few months, I kind of don't give a shit when PSVR 2 comes out now, because the VR community has given us what we've been looking for. The ability to play AAA games in VR. But yeah, when you got modders making your games better for free while you sit back and bask in the fruits of their labor, that's fucked up. Excuse me. Tantrum, how you doing? I know it's kind of early over there in the UK. I instantly loved VR when I played Scavenger's Odyssey for PSVR Worlds. When I played that, I was thinking this is the future. Absolutely. I knew it was the future. Let's see here. Fuel. All right, we set fuel. Let's see if the game got me starting on cold tires. Because if the game got me starting on cold tires, this is going to not end well. It's going to be wrecks all over the place. Not to mention that the ping on here is horrible. I'm at 200 and I've got milliseconds that are in the 230s. So my response time probably is going to be bad. So Clay, Ragnarok, day one, yeah. Truth be told, I have not got my money's worth out of the PS5. But I knew it was going to be like this, being that the main reason why I bought a PS5 was because of PSVR 2. If it wasn't for PSVR 2, I'm not sure I would have a PS5 right now. If it wasn't for PSVR 2,
going double file,
I might have sold this PS5 that I have right now. Just a couple of more months, ACC will be the game it should be on PS5 minus VR support. Absolutely. But hey, make no mistake, even though the force feedback and the physics are lacking, it's still a beautiful game on PS5, and it runs like butter. So I actually, when I'm not racing, I actually spend a lot of time watching streams of people playing ACC on Series X and PS5. I want a legit VR game for for Dragon Ball Z. You never know. Yeah, we're starting to race with cold tires. ACC runs 30 frames per second on PS4 and Xbox One, which is fine, but Series X and PS5 is 60 frames per second, and it's in 4K HDR, and it's with 30 car lobbies. I'll check you here in a second, Jay. Tires are warmed up now, so I think I'll see if I can turn it up a notch. You thought HDR was available on PS4? I don't think it is. There was a workaround where you could play the PS4 version of ACC at 60 frames per second at 1080p. The catch was you had to do it through a plasma TV because I think the plasma TV would somehow upscale it or some shit like that. I can't remember. Car trying to get away from me. Playing Dark Souls for the first time. 8 hours, fuck this game. Oh, hit that sausage curve and nearly paid for it. Shit is not enjoyable. There we go. Got it right this time. Ah! Hey, bro, I forgot to ask you. You related to the Mayweathers? Yeah, I'm Floyd Mayweather's first cousin. If you go back and check my Twitter, I posted a bunch of pictures of me growing up with him. So Floyd Mayweather Sr., Floyd's father, is my uncle. So yeah, my claim to fame is I'm 10 years older than Floyd. So when Floyd was about I'd say when he was about 5 years old, I used to babysit him when his father was still fighting. I followed boxing for a while. Your cousin is the GOAT. I don't care what, I mean, because of his flashy persona, a lot of people will never give him, you know, the credit that he deserved. You know, he'll forever be the villain. He'll forever be public enemy number one. That's why when I first came to YouTube, I kind of knew what I was walking into, you know, as far as this silly ass console war. You know, being that PlayStation at the time was my preferred method of gaming, I knew what I was walking into with this stupid ass console war shit, because I was hearing about people like Hard 8 getting doxxed and stuff like that by one of his own boys. So when I first came to YouTube, I let people see what I looked like, because at the time that I first came to YouTube, I was still a big dude because I was still working out. You know, I'm you know, 5'9", 5'10", 225 pounds of solid muscle. So if somebody decided that they wanted to dox me, I wanted them to know who was going to answer the door if they decided to come to my place. And so because of that, I kept it a secret for a long time that I was Floyd's cousin, because, you know, because if you do some tracing, I mean, you know my real name, J-Wags, because, you know, because of the recent friend request that I sent you. But before that, you know, I definitely kept it a secret, tried to keep it a secret that I was Floyd's cousin, because, you know, if you go break down Floyd's, you know, relatives, it would have been hard, it would not have been hard to find me, you know, because, you know, now that I'm away from that console war shit and I'm not really dealing with trolls and that kind of stuff anymore, you know, I had actually been on like HBO before for a split second where Floyd was preparing for one of his fights, and HBO interviewed me, my grandmother, and a couple of my cousins, and even our local news. If people want to dox you, they better box you. Well, even our local news had interviewed me. They interviewed me and my two brothers, because at the time my brother was dating a girl who worked for our local news station, and the station called me at my job and they said, you know, hey, we heard that you're Floyd Mayweather's cousin, and they said we'd like to interview you and your brothers because we want to know what it was like growing up with him. So I was like, yeah, cool. And they came over and they spent about 3 hours interviewing me and my brother, and they were getting ready to leave, and they mentioned something about Floyd going to the Olympics. And I said, you know, my grandmother, she's got Floyd's bronze medal because Floyd gave her the bronze medal. And so when Floyd's father was in prison, this race is over. He can go ahead instead of playing around with me. I could have won this race. So that's awesome, bro. And I saw that Olympic fight where he lost by split decision was bullshit. Now, the situation that shit, he took off. Well, see, Floyd lost to a Bulgarian. And one of the judges was Bulgarian. So a lot of people think that might have played into why Floyd might have lost that fight. So yeah, I'll finish up this Floyd thing here in a second. Because I'm getting ready to cross the finish line here in a second. He beat the fuck out that dude, but never lost again. You said biased judge tantrum? I really don't know. I mean, but that was one of the first things people said when Floyd lost that fight. That, you know, he lost to a Bulgarian and the judge was Bulgarian. But at the same time, I think the United States had it, you know, even if it was some bullshit involved, I think the United States had to let them get away with it. Because I think when it comes to the Olympics, I think the United States has sent some garbage ass athletes to the United States. I mean, to the Olympics. And I speak of, you know, gymnasts. And I don't like how the United States was able to put in some candy ass sports to set it up so our athletes can win. You know, over in the Winter Olympics, I think the United States rigged it so we could add snowboarding as a sport, and then they instantly put that redhead dude in there that looked like Carrot Top, and all of a sudden he's the greatest snowboarder ever. I think the United States rigged the Olympics to put in that corny ass ribbon dancing where you got girls jumping around with a stick with a ribbon at the end of it, waving it around and shit like that. And then we suddenly dominate that sport. I think because the United States was allowed to put some bullshit ass sports into the into the Olympics, I think they had to give some back. So I think that was a situation where the United States wasn't going to get in the way of that protest, because Floyd's, you know, Olympic coach filed a protest, but it didn't go anywhere. Here, let me leave this.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Let me quit this session and come back to the chat, because I need my glasses on to be able to see. Okay, so damn, go all the way back. Let's see here. I followed boxing for a while. Your cousin is a goat. I don't care. He beat the bricks off that dude. He said, let me see here, bro. When he went to Japan to fight their best boxer, Jesus Christ, that was brutal. I ain't gonna lie. That was an exhibition fight, and it looked like some WWE shit. The way Floyd hit that dude, not only that, Floyd was out of shape for that fight. Normally, Floyd have a washboard stomach. I didn't see his abs for that fight. He had a flat stomach, but I didn't see that definition from the abs. Floyd works out year round. So whenever it's time for him to fight, all he has to do is lose like 2 pounds while his opponents is killing themselves because they've been drinking, partying, smoking, hanging out at clubs and shit like that. And then they don't start training until it's time to actually fight. You said you actually went to the Ricky Hatton? You actually went to the Ricky Hatton fight? Oh, shit. I've been to a few of Floyd's fights. I've been to just about all of his fights that he had here in Grand Rapids. But as far as Vegas, I was at his fight with Zab Judah when, you know, when Zab Judah busted Floyd in the nuts, and that big ass melee ensued when Roger got in the ring. I was at that fight, and I almost went into the ring when that melee happened, but I didn't go into the ring because I saw like 20 cops surround the ring. And I'm thinking to myself, if you go jump in that ring, you're probably going to go to jail. So I didn't go into the ring. And I was at his fight with Andre Berto, which was supposed to be his last fight before he fought Conor McGregor. I would have definitely liked to see the Mosley fight live. Only dude to hurt him. You know why I think Floyd got hurt in that fight? Leading up to that Mosley fight, there was a lot of trash talking between Floyd and Mosley. And right before that fight, I'd say about a week before that fight, Mosley got a tattoo on his chest. Right here, some of that Egyptian Aztec looking design and shit that covered his whole left side of his chest. I think he got that tattoo to distract Floyd. And whenever he catch Floyd looking at that tattoo, then he was going to try to pounce on him and take advantage of him. So one of my family relatives that, talks to Floyd on a regular basis said that Floyd was mad at himself for getting caught with that shot because he was too relaxed. And I think he might have got caught looking at that tattoo, because when you look at the replay of that shit, it didn't look like that hard of a shot, because I seen Floyd take shots that looked harder than that. And I think it was a shot that caught him right on the temple. I think it was a shot that caught him at just the right spot. So, yeah, I think that was an interesting fight, too. And then not only that, Mosley was part of that scandal with Victor Conte. Remember when all the baseball players got busted for steroids and Jose Canseco busted on everybody, and they had this long list of people that had been on steroids? Mosley was one of them. So anyway, big Floyd fan. Hey, I don't think I had a moment when Mosley caught Floyd with that hard-ass shot. I don't think I ever had a moment where I was as scared as I was. I'm not going to lie. It said exceeded maximum rotations. Please restart the wheelbase. Hold on, I gotta shut this off and turn it back on. Okay, looks like we good. And it's 11:41, so I think I'll do one or two more races, and I'll go ahead and hang it up. J Wags, some funny shit, some other funny shit leading up to the fight with Floyd and Mosley. So there was a lot of trash talking leading up to that. He made Pacquiao look average. He humbled the fuck out of Canelo. Dude is one of the greats. If not, so yeah, the PS5 is a little bit ahead of my phone, so it's going to take a second for your comment to come through on the phone. But the Canelo fight was scary too. I was at the press conference for the Canelo fight because they kicked off the tour for that fight here in Grand Rapids. We got a high school football field, Houseman Field, and they had the press conference there. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of Hispanics at that press conference, and I assumed that they were there rooting for Canelo. And they had like periodic weigh-ins, and so at the time that they did that first press conference here in Grand Rapids, Floyd weighed about 155 pounds and Canelo weighed about 170. The fight was at a catch weight of 151 pounds because junior middleweight or super welterweight, depending on what sanctioning body you're talking about, the weight is 154 pounds. And Canelo wanted that fight with Floyd because Floyd was the biggest name in boxing at the time. And he wanted De La Hoya to make that fight happen. And he wanted the fight bad enough that he gave in to Floyd's demands for a catch weight. So the fight was at 151 pounds. And that's the biggest reason why Floyd made Canelo, look like a day in the park, because Canelo got tired after about the fifth round. Because Canelo was fighting at 154, but he was walking around on the street at about 170, 175. And that's what I was saying. That's one of the reasons why Floyd had such a big advantage over his opponents, because he works out year round. He stays in shape year round, whereas a lot of other fighters, the only time they get into shape is when it's time to fight. Other than that, they smoke, party, eat all kinds of shit. Like Ricky Hatton had blown up to 200 pounds from drinking, smoking, eating fried chicken, and all kinds of other shit. And so you trying to drop from 200 pounds down to 140 or 147 for a fight, you killing yourself to have to make that weight. And by Floyd staying in shape year round, whenever it came time for him to fight, he only had to lose like 2 or 3 pounds. You could do that taking a shit. Yeah, his defense is unreal. You know how Floyd got that defense? He got that defense from his father. Now, Floyd Sr., during his day when he was fighting, was a gifted athlete. He was fast, athletic, agile. And Floyd Sr. also was beating people's asses on the street. Somebody would owe him money. He would walk up to him. You got my money? No, bow, would bust him straight in the face. And so a lot of people were scared of Floyd Sr. because he didn't give a fuck. He was like whooping dudes' asses that was bigger than him. So Floyd's mother had a brother. I knew him. We used to call him Pops. So I'll just say that. Well, Floyd was holding Floyd Jr. in his arms, and he got into an argument with Pops. And Floyd Sr. was about to whoop Pop's ass, and he knew he would have got his ass whooped if he would have got into it with Big Floyd. So he pulled out a shotgun and shot Floyd Sr. in the leg, and it blew like half the bone out of his leg. And Floyd Sr. was supposed to never be able to walk again, let alone fight again. But I think he was out of the ring for about 6 years. And when he finally came, and when Floyd Sr. finally got back into the ring, he lost a lot of his mobility from being shot in the leg. And because of that, he was taking a lot of hits because he couldn't move around. So he had to come up with a defense that would allow him to, block and deflect punches and not have to move around. And that's how you got this defense right here, where you keep one shoulder right here in front of the chin, and then the other one on the side of the head. And if you keep your arms down low enough, it would also protect the body on the right side. Now, Floyd perfected it because he would, he'd keep his head moving and shit like that. So it was really hard to hit him. It was like he was in a damn turtle shell, and only the top of his head was visible. So he was really hard to hit. So you put that kind of defense into a kid that was a gifted athlete. So Floyd was the perfect prototype for the type of boxer he was. So yes, it's crazy how that defense came to be. So if Floyd Sr. would have never gotten shot, I don't know if he ever would have came up with that defense. I mean, hell, even Roger started using that defense later on in his career, because towards the end of his career, when, Roger was at the latter stages of his career, he had been through a lot of wars. He won a lot of fights, but he lost a good number of fights. He'd been knocked out a few times. So, and, Roger had a reputation for being having a suspect chin despite his power. And so Roger actually started using that defense towards the later stages of his career. You said that's some good insider shit, man. I got tons of stories growing up with Floyd, growing up with Mayweather, because, Roger and Jeff, I seen them every day. Big Floyd, I seen him here and there because he was in the height of his career. So Big Floyd was gone a lot, from training and fights and stuff like that he had. Because when Floyd Sr. fought Sugar Ray Leonard, that fight was in Rhode Island. And my mother rented a camper so her and some of the family could go to that fight to see Floyd Sr. Fight Sugar Ray Leonard. And Floyd Sr. fought Sugar Ray Leonard with a broken hand. I guess according to the contract, there was supposed to be no tune-up fights. So another inside thing that nobody really knows about was that at the time that Sugar Ray Leonard fought Floyd Sr., Floyd Sr. had been inactive for over a year. So Sugar Ray needed, he was an up-and-coming fighter, and he needed a big name on his resume. So in steps Floyd Mayweather Sr. At the time that Floyd fought Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray was undefeated. I think he was 14-0, and I think Floyd Sr. was 17-1 at the time. So they needed a big name on his resume. So as part of the contract, Floyd Sr. could not have any tune-up fights. So Floyd Sr. took an underground fight that nobody knew about to try to get in shape for the Leonard fight, and he broke his hand in that underground fight. So the day of the fight, when he fought Sugar Ray Leonard, the doctor looked at his hand and was like, yeah, the hand is broken. He's like, you got two options. I can spray some shit on there to numb your hand. He said, but you could damage the hand further and do permanent damage to it, and you wouldn't feel it until the shit wears off. Or you can go in there raw, and you're going to feel every single hit. You're going to feel every single punch is going to hurt like a motherfucker. And Floyd Sr. opted to go in there raw without any shit to numb his hand. And if you go back and watch Wide World of Sports, because that fight was on Wide World of Sports, if you go back, it's on YouTube. You can find that fight. There was a point where Floyd Sr. hit Sugar Ray right on top of the forehead, and you can see him wincing and going like this. And after that, he stopped throwing the right hand, and the fight was pretty much over after that. So, yeah, man. I mean, I got tons of stories growing up with Mayweather. But yeah, like Roger and Jeff, I seen them every day, because when my parents was working, my mother used to drop us off over there because my grandmother used to babysit us. And again, Big Floyd, I didn't see a lot of him because, I seen him when he wasn't fighting, but whenever he was fighting, I didn't see him that much. Most people don't know shit about boxing. Talk about Roger. Hold on a second, J-Wags. Let me see if I got this shirt. Let me show you something real quick. So I got a ton of Floyd t-shirts. And you see the Money Team logo on the back. So yeah, you get the picture. I got a ton of Floyd T-shirts here, but what I was looking to find was when Roger made that famous quote about "you don't know shit about boxing." They made a T-shirt of that. It's a black and white picture of Roger with this funny ass frown on his face that looks like a damn mugshot, and underneath it says "you don't know shit about boxing." I don't know where that shirt is. I know it's here somewhere. Um, and I had got 3 of those shirts. I got one for myself, and I had got one for my friend in Rhode Island. And I accidentally sent him 2 of the T-shirts. And I was like, "Look, man, you got to send one of those shirts back." And he was like, "Look, man." He said, "Do me a favor, do me a favor." Because actually Roger autographed one of the T-shirts for him. He said the T-shirt that Roger autographed, he said, "I'm going to frame it." And he said, "I'm never going to wear that one." He said, "The other one I want to keep for myself." He said, "Please let me keep it. I'll send you whatever money you want, blah, blah, blah." So yeah, I ended up letting him keep 2 of the T-shirts, and I kept one. I don't know where the shirt is at. Legends, man. A dude in the Boondocks based on Roger? I don't know. I never watched the Boondocks. The jail scene? I don't know. I mean, since we follow each other on Facebook, shoot me a link to it so I can check it out, because I've never seen the Boondocks before. I'll send it to you. Okay. Let's see here. See what we got for servers. There's a spot. Oh shit. But that's crazy, bro. Didn't mean to derail your stream. No, that's fine. That's fine. Actually, if you go back, actually, you don't have to go back and look for the stream, because what happened was, when I first came to YouTube, I kept it a secret that I was Floyd's cousin, and only a few people knew that I was Floyd's cousin. And this was in the beginning. The people who knew, Thrash knew, Porter Rock knew, Titanfall Princess knew, Sick knew, and I think Craig Harris might have known, and I think a couple of other people would have known. Now, slowly but surely, it started to slip out that I was Floyd's cousin. So, like, in my streams, there was a couple of people who were coming in there asking me that if I was Floyd's cousin, or if they heard I was Floyd's cousin and stuff like that. And I was denying it at first because, again, I didn't want to get doxxed. And the big reason why I didn't want to get doxxed is because I was trying to protect my son. Because I didn't want one of these wild ass Xbox dudes to, find out who I am, and then eventually find out who my son is. And then, I'm hearing some crazy shit that, some kind of weird ass package came to their house or something like that. So I kept it a secret that I was Floyd's cousin for the longest. And then when I finally made that jump to VR and I started doing VR content, all the trolls and shit like that went away, because, I blocked all the trolls that was coming in when I was still doing that console war shit. But then once I switched over to VR, all the trolls went away. So once the trolls went away, somebody on one of my streams, somebody came into my chat and said, basically said, "Yeah, we know you Floyd Mayweather's cousin." So I finally came out with it, and then I went ahead and dedicated an entire stream and admitted that I'm Floyd Mayweather's cousin, and then told everybody why I kept it a secret for so long. So So yeah, it slipped out. I don't know. I don't think anybody leaked it out on purpose. I think it was something that came out accidentally, during conversation. So slowly but surely it came out. You said, damn, Zarek, you said, damn, servers are up on PlayStation? Been sitting here waiting on PC servers still. Yeah, because I had been practicing on PC all day. And this was one of those moments where I was like, damn, I want to race. I was jonesing. I wanted to get on the track. And I figured, hey, jumping on the PlayStation is better than nothing. Even though I don't, even though I'm a little bit handicapped on the PlayStation version, I figured it's better than nothing. Damn, this spa's not gonna be good. Spa's been a big problem for me. That track is like my damn nemesis.
Green light, go, go, go.
So I think I'll probably do this race here and then probably call it a night. I wanted to jump over to Twitch and stream Star Wars Battlefront 2, but it's too late. It's midnight here. Oh, never mind. What's the fastest lap here? 2:27? I know I keep talking about it, but my favorite moment is whenever he knocked dude out and kept headbutting him in 2011. Oh, you talking about the Victor Ortiz? You might be talking about the Victor Ortiz fight. Vicious Victor. That fight, Ortiz knew he was out. He knew he was outclassed, and I think he was frustrated that he couldn't land a clean shot on Floyd because of how good Floyd's defense is, and he resorted to that headbutt and shit. And what blew me away, man, is when now Floyd looked over at the referee. The referee was in the middle of breaking him up. Floyd looked at the referee, saw that the referee wasn't looking. Ortiz still trying to come in and hug him after all that dirty shit he did. And pow, pow. Floyd put him out, Floyd caught a lot of heat for that. Nobody said shit about the dirty shit Ortiz was doing. All people could talk about was how Floyd hit him on the break or hit him when he wasn't looking or some kind of shit like that. That's why they tell you to protect yourself at all times. The referee can't see everything. Yeah, it was clean. Defend yourself at all times. Exactly. Yeah, that was and at the time I was like, damn, and at the time that fight happened, people hated Floyd so bad. They was like hoping that it didn't matter who he fought. They was just hoping that was the person that, What is this? Okay, we're still in the garage. Yeah, people was begging for Floyd to lose. So even though Floyd had fought some people that had no business being in the ring with him, they were still hoping that Floyd would lose that fight. Now, Victor Ortiz, he made Canelo look. Yeah, it was child's play with Canelo. You know what's crazy, J-Wags? I damn near hate boxing now. it's a brutal sport, man, and it left Roger fucked up. I mean, I think about a year and a half before Roger died, he was in a wheelchair. Um, he had strokes and all kinds of other shit. So uh, Roger was in a wheelchair and he was blind for about he was blind and in a wheelchair for about a year and a half before he died, maybe 2 years. But he had already showed signs of slipping because even when Roger was still fighting, I would have conversations with him and he would start to say something and he would just draw a blank right in the middle of the conversation and wouldn't finish what he was saying. This is when he talked in a normal tone of voice. For some reason, whatever he was trying to say, he was able to get all of it out if he talked loud. But that was the first sign that I saw that Roger was slipping. And this is why he was still fighting.
Stay double file. Low tire pressure. Stay clear of the curves.
Oh yeah, J-Wags. Another place, the easiest place where you can go. Matter of fact, J-Wags, go through my YouTube library and you'll see like a 40-second clip of me with Floyd Sr.
Green light. Give it all you can.
But J-Wags, we also oh, the clip is how you found out. Okay. if you go to Facebook, because we friends on Facebook, if you go damn it.
Got some light damage on the front.
I knew it. I told you, I'm just not that good at this track. The car is damaged, so even if I could keep it clean, it's not going to be a good race. Let me go ahead and hang it up. Okay, so what I was trying to say is that we also friends on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and go through my photos, you will see a ton of pictures of me with Floyd and other family members. And through Floyd, I've also met a lot of celebrities too. I've got pictures with Teddy Atlas. I've got pictures with Big Baby Glenn Davis, Terrell Owens, the rapper Lil Mama. Shit, I met a lot of people. I met Charlie Murphy. Now, like, Charlie Murphy was one of the coolest dudes I ever met as far as celebrities goes. Now, I had a picture of it because when Floyd fought Arturo Gatti in Atlantic City, I was at that fight. And one of my female cousins, we was walking around and I was meeting all these celebrities and shit, and she was taking pictures of it. I even got a picture with Bill Parcells, who was coach of the New England Patriots. I got a picture with him. I had got a picture with Antonio Tarver, got a picture with Charlie Murphy. The entire family got a picture with Stephen A. Smith. And then, like, people that I met, but I didn't get a chance to get a picture with them at that fight. I also met Jalen Rose. I just walked up to him, told him I was Floyd's cousin. I asked him if I could shake his hand. He was like, "Yeah, cool." Put his hand out, shook my hand. Chris Webber was with him, but I didn't ask Chris Webber if I could shake his hand because at the time he was fighting with the media because the media was getting into his business about whether he was dating Tyra Banks or not. Who else did I meet? When Floyd had his 40th birthday party in L.A., I shook hands with Fat Joe. But yeah, at that 40th birthday party, like I said, I got a picture with Terrell Owens, Glenn Big Baby Davis, the rapper Lil Mama. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I got a picture with. Now, the picture that I got with Tony Atlas, what's funny about that was that was when Floyd fought Andre Berto. He flew the family out there for the fight. So the hotel that I was staying at had a gym in there. So I went to the gym to work out, and I saw Teddy Atlas in there working out. So I'm not going to lie, a lot of the celebrities that I got pictures with them because I told them I was Floyd's cousin. So, like, I think celebrities, they might be assholes to the public, but they all cool. They all treat each other's family with respect. So, but in the case of Tony Atlas, I walked up to him. I said, you know, Mr. Atlas. He was like, yeah. I said, I'm Floyd Mayweather's cousin. I'm here for the fight. And he looked at me like he saw a ghost because for a while, Tony Atlas did not like Floyd. And I asked him if I get a picture with him. He said, yeah, sure. So I took a picture with him. And you can find that picture on Facebook and Twitter because I posted that picture on Twitter, too. And but, yeah, that was funny. You said I would have abused that cousin. Now, see, the thing about that, J-Wags, is even before I got the YouTube, I didn't tell too many people that I was Floyd's cousin because of how many people didn't like him. And what was crazy is that I would meet people. They would find out that I'm Floyd's cousin. And like for about 5 seconds, they would be cool with it. They was like, oh man, Floyd's a great fighter, blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you. And then like after about 5 minutes, after they would get comfortable talking to me, then all of a sudden they were like, oh, Floyd's an asshole. He's funny. I want somebody to knock him out and all this kind of shit. And this was like, wait a minute. A few minutes ago, you was like, oh, he's a great fighter. So I stopped telling people that I was Floyd's cousin because if I meet somebody and I don't tell them I'm Floyd's cousin and his name come up, however they feel about Floyd, the truth is going to come out. They're going to say it right then and there. If I tell them I'm Floyd's cousin, a lot of them will say, oh, he's a great fighter and shit like that when they really don't like him. So, yeah, so even before I came to YouTube, I didn't tell too many people that I was his cousin. Damn, it's almost 12:30. God damn, I got to get out of here in a minute because I got to be at work at 5. And plus, I want to try to get a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront in before I call it a night. They say he's too cocky, but 53-0 or whatever. Said, oh, good, man. Thanks for the stories, man. I got tons of them, man. And, whenever you want to hear a story, man, just hit me up. I mean, I got stories of how I used to chase him all over the place. Because Floyd always had that cocky ass mouth. And sometimes, like, again, I would probably say when he was about 10 years old, I was 20 at the time. And I was dating a lot of women back then. And so it was like every week I would have a different chick at my, I might need to do a video with you. Do a video call with you. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Hit me up. Hit me up. You know, I think you in my. I think I sent you a Discord invite to my Discord. We friends on Facebook. We friends on Twitter, and I think you got my phone number. So you got more than one way to get a hold of me. So yeah, whenever you want to chop it up, I definitely got stories. So when I was about 20 years old, as I was saying, I was dating a lot of chicks, and I was bringing a lot of chicks over to my mother's crib. And so I had a different chick over there every week. So Floyd would be over there because when Floyd got old enough that I didn't have to babysit him no more, he was still coming over to my mother's house because Floyd didn't have any brothers. So me and my brothers was basically Floyd's big brothers. So he still used to come over there and hang out with us. So I got all these chicks, I would have a different chick over at my mother's house every week. And he would try to show off in front of these chicks and would try to roast me and call me all kinds of names and shit. So I'm chasing him all over the front yard and shit, because he was quick as hell. I was quick, but he was quick too. I couldn't catch him. You know how it is, grown man trying to chase after a teenager. So yeah, he would like say all kinds of crazy ass shit. Some of the things that he said when he roasted me, I can't say it here. I have to tell you off of YouTube or whatever. But yeah, he used to try to roast me and say a bunch of shit, and I would try to chase after him. One time I was chasing after him, and he did like a Barry Sanders fake on me, and I had slipped on a patch of dirt and ran face first into a house. And he was laughing, and at the time I was really skinny, and he was telling everybody, he was like, he said I shook that tall sack of bones. And everybody was laughing and shit. So yeah, I got a ton of those stories too. So one time before I get out of here, one more story before I get out of here. Floyd had a fight here in Grand Rapids, and Floyd didn't really take that many hits in the fight. And after the fight, there was an after party at this hotel, and a few people showed up. I like, of all places, I met Bert Sugar in the bathroom. I had just got done taking a piss, and I was walking out of the bathroom as he was coming in. He had the big hat with the cigar in his mouth and shit, and I just nodded at him and I said, "Mr. Sugar," and he said, "How you doing?" He just nodded his head, and we just passed each other. But so I had a girl with me because I invited her to come to the after party with me, and she thought it would be cool for a chance to meet Floyd, and I was like, "Yeah, if you want to meet him, I can set it up for you to meet him." So we get to the after party, and Floyd is sitting on the sofa. And he got all his gorillas around him, and he got like 8 chicks around him. So I walked up to him and I'm like, "What's up, cuz?" And he was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Man, my face hurting." And so instead of saying, "Yeah, man, I know what you mean," I told him, I said, "You still ain't as pretty as me." And I started laughing. He gave me that look like that wasn't the answer that I was looking for. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. You know what? Last story. This was at a bar, a local bar here in town. At the time, it was called the Buck and Beaver. Floyd came there with a bunch of his gorillas, and whenever Floyd came into town, it was VIP. The line could be a mile long. Floyd get there, it was like they peel everybody out of the way, or they bring him in through the back door or whatever. And then they'll set him up with a VIP section, and they'll rope it off and won't let the public fuck with him. Only family would be allowed to walk past those ropes. So we're in this bar called the Buck and Beaver. He comes in, and not only did Floyd get VIP, he brought his own liquor, even though he didn't drink, because all his gorillas drank. So he brought his own liquor. They basically, Floyd have a fleet of cars and shit, and would have one car designated for all the liquor in there. Motherfuckers opening the trunk, taking out big ass bottles of expensive champagne and shit like that, and they allow Floyd to bring his own alcohol into the bar. So I get to the Buck and Beaver. It's a VIP section. It's roped off. And, you know, it's like 5 tables at this VIP. And there's big bottles of champagne and all kinds of top shelf liquor on these tables and shit. So they let me in. You know, I was going to walk there, and his bouncers got in front of me and stopped me. And Floyd was like, no, that's my cousin. Let him through. So they moved out of the way. They pulled the velvet rope off and let me through. So we sitting there chopping it up and shit. And, you know, Floyd pulled out his camcorder, you know, threw his arm around me. He's like, you know, I'm here with my cousin, woo, woo, woo. And so after he took that shot with his camcorder, he said, you want something to drink? And I was like, yeah, I'll take a Bud Light, you know, because I drank back then. And I was like, I'll take a Bud Light. And so Floyd looked at his gorillas, and he said, my cousin want a drink. Who got him? And nobody said nothing. So Floyd looked at me. He said, watch this. He said, what? All y'all motherfuckers broke? Ain't nobody got no money? And then all of his gorillas reached into their pocket, was like, oh, man, you ain't said nothing. I got money. And they was like pulling out all their money. Floyd was walking around and snatching all their money. And then he told the waitress, he said, bring my cousin a Bud Light. And then he looked at me and winked at me and started laughing and had a stack of money like that and stuck it all back in his pocket. I mean, this was money that he was paying him in the first place, but he took that money from him and stuck it back in his pocket. That shit was funny as hell. So yeah, man, I got a ton of stories, so it's okay, man. Every now and then, I have been wanting to do one of these streams where every now and then I share some family stories. So it's all right, you know, it's all right that you asked me about that. I don't mind talking about it, especially now that I'm out of the council war and don't really have to worry about anybody doxing me and trolling me and shit like that. So I definitely don't mind sharing family stories. So anytime you want to hear something, man, hit me up. So. With that, I'm going to go ahead and boogie on out of here. With that, thanks everybody for watching. And tomorrow's Friday. I don't know if we're going to do ACC Friday or not, because I don't know if Ham officially started the league back up or not. So if he does, you know, look for that. I'll be streaming ACC from the PC. Yes, sir. Peace. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And I definitely, I still love Star Wars Battlefront. So look for me to stream that on Twitch. So this particular stream right here is not in the description, but you can go back and check some of my other streams in my Twitch channel is in the description. But if you want to find me, my Twitch channel is Lincoln Clay, but it's Lincoln_Clay with a K. That's my Twitch channel. And I've been streaming Star Wars Battlefront multiplayer over there. So if you want to check that out, I'll be doing some of that over the weekend. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and boogie on out of here. There's been a lot of fun. I didn't do much racing, but I definitely enjoyed sharing the story. So not a problem, J-Wags. And with that, I'm going to boogie on out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, you guys know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king. And deuces. We'll see you soon.